The famous saying by Friedrich Nietzsche, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger," has become a widely accepted truth in popular culture, especially in American society and beyond. It is quoted as encouragement, as proof that adversity forges character and transforms suffering into strength. But when we examine it more closely through the lens of modern psychology and scientific evidence, a very different picture emerges. A past filled with adversity is not a treasured asset of life. In most cases, what doesn't kill us does not make us stronger. It often leaves us more fragile, more vulnerable, and more easily broken. 1. Why do we cling to this belief? First, suffering is an inevitable part of existence. To survive it, the human mind develops countless coping mechanisms, and one of the most common is assigning positive meaning to pain. If we can convince ourselves that this suffering is forging me into a better, tougher person, the pain becomes more bearable. It gives us a sense of control, hope, and purpose. Moreover, our culture is steeped in the idea that, as long as there's hope, anything is possible. When faced with things we cannot change, irreversible loss, unhealable wounds, we tend to seek evidence that supports the belief that we've become stronger because of it. This is confirmation bias in action. We easily remember and highlight stories of triumph after hardship, while ignoring the countless cases of people who were deeply scarred, permanently weakened, or never fully recovered. The human brain is a meaning-making machine. It is wired to organize vast amounts of chaotic information into coherent narratives. This happened, which led to that, resulting in this outcome. When two events occur close together, we quickly assume causation. Just like the famous experiments with pigeons by B.F. Skinner, even though food was delivered randomly, unrelated to their behavior, the birds would repeatedly perform whatever action they happened to be doing right before the food appeared. In a sense, they became superstitious. Humans do the same. We create countless mental superstitions to soothe our pain, from believing a lucky shirt helps our team win to convincing ourselves that great pain has made me stronger. 2. What does science actually show? Psychological and developmental research paints a far more sobering picture. If you emerge stronger after adversity, it is far more likely that you were already resilient beforehand, not that the adversity itself made you resilient. Severe trauma tends to make people more vulnerable, not tougher. Children who experience psychological trauma are significantly more likely to suffer further trauma later in life, not less. Growing up in chaotic, unsafe environments weakens them, making them more prone to future difficulties rather than hardening them. The same pattern holds for adults. A well-known study examined healthy adults who viewed fearful and neutral faces while undergoing fMRI scans to measure amygdala activity, the brain region that processes and stores emotional memories, especially fear. Half the participants had been within roughly 2.5 kilometers of the World Trade Center on September 11, 2001. The other half lived at least 300 kilometers away. Those who had been near ground zero showed significantly heightened amygdala activation when viewing fearful faces compared to the distant group. This demonstrates that major trauma leaves long-lasting biological traces in the brain, making individuals more easily triggered by negative emotions, even years later, and even if they appear outwardly resilient. As Dr. Barbara Gansel, the lead researcher, noted, our findings suggest there may be long-term neurobiological correlates of trauma exposure, even in seemingly resilient individuals. A striking real-world example comes from K-9 counterterrorism units. Many people assume that street dogs, survivors of harsh, violent, unpredictable environments, would make the fiercest, most battle-ready working dogs. The reality is the complete opposite. Street dogs are too unpredictable, too unstable, and nearly impossible to train reliably for such high-stakes work. In contrast, the very best candidates for elite anti-terrorism roles are dogs that have been consistently cared for, loved, protected, and raised in stable, nurturing environments throughout their lives, because that foundation of safety enables them to learn, adapt, and perform under extreme stress. 3. The lesson for us. All the same principle applies to human beings. Chaos, turmoil, and trauma do not make you tougher. They do not prepare you for the horrors of the world. What truly builds strength is love, care, safety, and consistent support. because these nourish and reinforce your capacity to learn, adapt, fight, and recover when difficulties arise. Adversity is not a forge. It is more like a storm. If you already have a solid foundation, built from love, support, emotional security, and good mental health, you may survive it, and perhaps even learn something from it. But if your foundation is weak, the storm will shatter you far more deeply. So instead of revering the saying, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger," we would do better to face a more honest truth. What doesn't kill you can very well make you weaker, and that is not a personal failure, but a natural law of the human psyche. What truly matters is not merely surviving suffering, but building a life with enough safety, love, and care, so that when storms come, as they inevitably will, they do not destroy us, but allow us to stand back up, learn, and keep going.